back, relax, and maybe get yourself a snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hey guys, this is a story, Tower of Dogs, about two siblings. And we have Rome, who is a boy kind of trying to make his way in the world, trying to find a way to help his sister, who he doesn't live with at the moment, and prove himself. And this world is a very harsh, very demanding one. We also have Sparrow, who is his sister, and the two of them are blood related, but they don't have any other blood relatives at the time that we meet them. Sparrow actually lives with a sort of adopted mother almost that their father left them with, and she is a very caring, very sensitive soul. She wants to help out her adoptive mother, and she wants to kind of find her way in the world, but she doesn't really know how to. She's very caring, very sweet, and she generally just wants Rome to come back more and hang out with them, and generally just wants to see him more often. The world where they live is a really tough one. There is a lot of rationing there. There are berserkers, like deranged or unstable people who seem to sort of have power and be feared by everyone. And the town where the two of them grew up and where Sparrow still lives and Rome still visits is one that is currently being kind of overrun by berserkers. And so Sparrow and Rome have to kind of make a decision about what they're going to do when they're offered the chance to escape on the train. And of course, Rome insists that Sparrow must go on the train with him. So they run to try and catch it, and it doesn't quite go to plan because Sparrow makes it and he doesn't. And that's all right at the start of the story, so I don't feel like that's a spoiler at all, but basically their stories end up divided from that point onwards. So we see Rome as he is going off, and he's kind of trying to prove his worth in this group that he's a part of. They're kind of like a faction almost like a gang, I suppose, and earn territories and just basically be on top so that they can get food and resources for one another in this very harsh world. And then Sparrow goes off to this completely other part of the world, which is much less concerned about berserkers, but much more concerned about nobility and looks and appearance and how everyone acts. The magic of this world is not very well known by most people. Berserkers are very much feared, but we don't really know if they're magic or not. And it's not a very well-known thing. There is a kind of religious order here that seems like it could potentially be connected to magic. And as you go through the story, you learn a lot more about the magic of the world. So I won't spoil any of that, but there is definitely some magic brewing by the end of this book. And I feel like in a sequel to this story, we would see a lot more of that. I really liked Sparrow. She was by far my favourite of the two characters. Rome didn't do as much for me as a character. I could take him or leave him, but Sparrow I really liked. She is quite naive to the world in some ways, even though she has grown up in a very sad and harsh world. She's still quite naive to the world and what can happen, and also the characters and people who are out there and the way that they treat others. She's incredibly naive to nobility in general. She's never really met anyone from the nobility, and so when she does go on this adventure and she ends up kind of being almost forced or shoehorned into this situation of nobility, she just doesn't quite know where she stands to begin with. But her true self and true centre is always helping people, and she's always absolutely certain that she must help people if they're kind, sweet people. And she does come across some really lovely people in this world. We have a character who's suffered some severe trauma when she was younger, and so she is in a way going through a sort of disability and experiencing life with a disability. And so Sparrow comes in kind of as a companion to this character, and I enjoyed seeing the relationship she formed with this character. I don't think it was the best portrayal I've ever seen, but I think there was some intent there to show a loving, caring person coming in to the scene and kind of trying their best to help their friend be whatever they could be. So I liked that bit of it. Rome's story, on the other hand, was largely about fighting, gaining control, territory. It had a lot of warlike setup. It felt like it just wasn't my personal cup of tea, basically. Like, I don't love war-based or gang-based violence and crimes and, you know, taking people out and all of that stuff. So it wasn't really my favourite thing, but I did appreciate that Rome is completely loyal to his family and friends. He's always determined to be the one who looks out for them and does his best by them. I do think he's almost loyal to a fault at times, which I didn't love, but in general, I enjoyed him enough. Like, I didn't feel like I was upset having to read his parts, but I did feel like Sparrow's parts were much more akin to what I enjoy. I would say that Sparrow's story actually reminds me quite a lot of The Secret Garden. If you've read that and you know anything about that, then I think this definitely has parallels to that story. Rome's story was just kind of okay for me, but Sparrow's I enjoyed a lot more. So yeah, that's what I thought of that one. Overall, I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, so a 6 out of 10. And I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this one if you read it. So let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. Bye.
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.